Hi, this is Bridget with Matside TV. Don't forget to watch and follow us on Matside YouTube TV. Yes.
What a pleasure it is here at the 87th state tournament here at
second annual girls.
Oh, that's right, and the second annual girls state tournament. We're here at the Schottenstein Center, Value City Arena, with the Dr. Maurer. Dr. Maurer, what is your exact position here?
I'm the tournament manager. I've been tournament manager now for 43 years, and I'm blessed to have an incredibly wonderful staff of over 200 people that help us just within our own wrestling staff as well as the rest of the community, and just try over the course of 3 days to hang on and survive and see some unbelievably great wrestling and some outstanding student athletes.
It's a wild ride. I will tell you that I've talked to some people around the country when I was doing some clinics, and they told me that they have seen and visited this tournament, and it doesn't compare. No other tournament compares to what happens in this during these 3 days.
Yeah, every year that's our goal. Last year I had 75 suggestions for recommended changes. This year we're approaching 50. So no matter how minute it might be, Ray Kroc, former chair of McDonald's, said if you take care of the little things, the big things will take care of themselves. And so anything we can possibly do to make it a better tournament for our student athletes, coaches, fans, spectators, that's our goal.
So when you get someone of the 50 recommendations, you sit down, look at those, and I know you're a deep thinking man. You look at those. How many of those do you go, yeah, let's change this?
Almost everyone.
Really?
And the reason is the joy of being here at the tournament, you have all this incredible knowledge at the tournament. And so what you do is when you decide you're thinking about making a change, you have the opportunity over 2-3 days to bounce that change off of people. And really, we're going to change the weigh-ins again next year. So we spent a considerable amount of time talking with, staff, physical ops people here at the Schott, coaches, etc., to try to work out. And the other thing you find is the smaller details that are so important. If we don't document them immediately, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they're gone. And now what happens is you come back next year and all of a sudden they rear their ugly head. And you go, oh, and the other thing is that the joy of documenting everything, by documenting it and writing it down, job descriptions, policy, etc., then next year when someone says, gee, we didn't do that last year, or you can say, here it is in writing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's building that tribal knowledge, right?
Yeah.
That's so important in an organization such as this.
Yeah, and the joy of it is we have so many people that return from standpoint of the head table, media, our bracket people, match scores and timers, runners, etc. And so in most cases, I don't have to deal with a lot of that because they have that knowledge base that you're referring to, so they can answer those questions, primarily from coaches and fans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if something should happen, if you were sick or whatever, there's somebody that knows exactly what to do next.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the way a great organization is run.
Right, exactly.
So let's talk a little bit the girls. So there's only so much room in this stadium, this arena. Now with the girls in there, and I will tell you, I did the CCL girls and boys tournament this year. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you that, or I will tell you, that in a match, it was 2 JV girl wrestlers. They were louder for them than for the boys. Yep. And in the years coming, how are you going to accommodate that type of revelry?
One is our attendance averages around somewhere between 12 and 13,000, so it's a good number. During sessions 1 and 2, session 1 this year, what we did was we wrestled D3 championship, D2 championship, and then we came right back with D3 consolation, then D2 consolation. So literally, from that standpoint, you're kind of having the number of people that would be here other than the general wrestling fans, so the next group works in, so it works out really well. Now next year, it worked out so well this year, the next year we're going to do the same thing, and the idea being, once we added the girls, we added 4.5 to 5 hours of additional wrestling.
That's a lot.
Bingo. And so what happened is that session 1 is now 8 hours long. Tough day. And so now we've got the ability with doing this format, most wrestlers, coaches, fans, if they want to, only have to be there at approximately half of that time. So you get an opportunity to maybe do some other things fun to do in Columbus.
So the seats here, are they buying that ticket for that seat, or can they go wherever they want?
Both. Everything is, reserved seat because of the number of seats we have to. But obviously, from the match board that one of the matches you're interested in is on mat 2. You can go down and sit in that seat as long as it's not being occupied by whoever's reserved that seat. And our ushers and whatnot don't spend they don't sit there and say, okay, what's your ticket? You can only sit there. Yeah.
So getting into another topic, will the day ever come where the girls will have a separate tournament by themselves?
Probably, or could be.
Idea how far out?
No. I think the key thing is that for 3 days, and we're locked into Friday, Saturday, Sunday because of the amount of parking used by OSU on Thursday. So, and the tournament will be here next year. That's been decided.
That's one of the questions that somebody asked me to ask you. Right. Is it possible that this tournament could change venues at some point? Oh yeah,
whatever. The problem you run into in the state of Ohio is for 10 mats for this number of people, plus what we've got is the auxiliary gym. As you know, where we have at any one time, 200-300 people in there warming up, watching the match board, et cetera, et cetera. And so you have to have that other venue within the facility that allows you to be able to incorporate all this in that.
Very many have that extra space.
Currently, under a 3-day tournament that we run, if girls went to another division, I don't think we could find close to 5 hours within these 3 days because it's already so jam-packed. Because we've got to do the things we have to do on Friday morning, packet pickup, coaches meeting, weigh-ins, and all that. We bumped up the start time with the girls from 3 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Each night, though, we don't get done till 9:30 at night. And so and the thing is, from the standpoint of the wear and tear on everybody, especially the staff, these are, as you well know, are 3 long, challenging days. And the joy of it is, at least we get you out of here at like 9:30 or so at night. Hopefully most people get you back at 10, so you get some opportunity to relax and recover before you're going to do another 14-hour day or so,
Well, I appreciate your time. I will ask you one last question. If you had a magic wand and you could change one thing instantly, whatever that would be, what would you want?
Expand the arena to the east and add 2 more mats. Now, your friend and mine, Bart Freidenberg, he has for years thinks we ought to be able to have 2 levels, transparent, glass transparent mats. And so you could watch this mat or that mat. Standing joke.
Someday in the future.
Yeah. Now, as you know, the other thing we used to do when we did the National Collegiate Duels, there we had 4 mats at St. John, 8 in French Fieldhouse. Yes. But there you just don't get the kind of number of spectators that you need. And I think also today's spectator demands a high quality venue because that's what's built now. Right. And so and you also want to have a great amount of respect for the sport of wrestling. So I think wrestling, like all the other sports, demand that type of venue, that classiness to the venue.
Is the shot big enough for NCAA D1?
Good question. I don't know, but I think it used to be that.
I thought it was 18,000.
Well, it used to be. I don't know if it still is that you could not hold one of those venues in a home.
Big Ten school.
Bingo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you could host it down at downtown. Exactly, but you couldn't. I don't know whether that's the same rule or not. Yeah. The other thing you run into too is you never know when you have an arena, the corners. And these are wide, spacious corners which allow you to put down not only 10 mats, but but also just as important, space behind the mats to do what you have to do from a standpoint of moving people back and forth, et cetera, et cetera. And so we've looked at some arenas, but the problem is the corners, by the time they go around there, the mat literally would be up against a wall or something. So that's also a criteria.
You brought a memory up to me. I did one arena football game, and it was at O'Hare Arena, and they had wrestling there,
Sure.
and they would have the backboards up because it was ice hockey, and you had nowhere to go.
Oh, wow.
As a wing. So, and I remember walking out, and I forget who the R was, and he goes, "Just don't die." You know? So, Dr. Maurer, thank you very much.
You too.
Appreciate it. Great job again, and thanks for the time.
Thank you very much on behalf of the, thousands of athletes, coaches, their parents, and fans. You all do a great job of promoting the sport, and sport that we all love dearly. And I can't say on behalf of everybody how much we appreciate the time and effort that you put into doing your broadcasts that you do.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate for the year 2024 the OHSAA State Wrestling Finalists.
The year was 1907. The Cubs won the World Series and the Ford Model R hit the assembly line. While here in Ohio, school administrators came together to form the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One thing that hasn't changed since 1907 is the dedication of the OHSAA to education-based athletics in Ohio. School sports teach responsibility, sportsmanship, and life lessons that stay with students long after their playing days are over. The OHSAA seeks to prepare students not for the next level of sport, but for the next level of life.